Welcome to the end of the semester, everybody. This is officially the end. This is finals week, for whatever that's worth in an online setting that doesn't really involve a true final. But we've reached the end of the semester and we're down to the very last couple of things to take care of. And so most of that you're already aware of. Essay 4, essay revisions from essay 1, 2, or 3. Both of those due tonight. Take your time, submit it when you can. I am halfway through grading my in-person class essays at the moment. Probably sometime tomorrow I will start breaking ground on my online classes. I'll get those up as quick as I can. There have already been a couple of people asking for small extensions into the next couple of days. And I'll just say that essentially, as long as essays are turned in by Wednesday at the latest, there's really no harm, no foul. Before I submit grades, I will always go through to make sure that nobody's turned in anything last minute, that I didn't miss anything, that all the grades are connected in Brightspace like they're supposed to be, so that everything is given credit for, and so that you know basically where you ended up in terms of your standing in the class. And so beyond those two things, the only other thing to consider for tonight is the exit assessment. And for English 1010, the exit assessment is basically a 1-paragraph writing assignment on the writing process. So if you completed the most recent discussion post, which was about asking whether or not the officials of Cades Cove and the Great Smoky Mountains should institute shuttle buses in order to fix traffic problems. If you're not familiar with Cades Cove, that may not seem like a particular poignant or cogent point, but if you're from this area and you go to Cades Cove, you know that it's beautiful, it's lovely, it's a great place to go. You also know that traffic can be just kind of a nightmare, especially on the main loop where you just go and drive through and look at the scenery and check out the houses or get off on the trail. And there's always people stopping to take pictures of deer and bear, and it backs traffic up, and it can take a while to get through Cades Cove. And so that's basically at the heart of the question. Whether you know about Cades Cove specifically or not, the point of the discussion post was to answer the question. The point of the assessment is to speak about your writing process. And so in that way, the discussion post was meant to kind of backwardsly prepare you for the assignment by making you do what it's asking you to describe. Basically, when given the prompt and given the set of instructions, how do you go about completing the writing process? And so just read the prompt carefully. Again, it's not about answering the prompt, it's about your own writing process. When you're given an assignment like this, what steps do you take to finish it? You'll see in the directions that it tends to lay out about 45 minutes for this assignment. I can't really speculate on whether that's going to be too much or too little time for each of you individually. So I will simply say, do your best to keep it at about an hour. For the sake of the data, we kind of have to keep the conditions under which each student takes the assessment as uniform as possible. But if it takes you a couple of extra minutes to finish a 200 word paragraph, don't worry if it's not going to affect it. Basically, as I said before, this is a assignment that the department has instructors proctor every semester. This is not an assignment that I have chosen to give you for my class. So therefore, in terms of how this will affect your grade, if you complete the assessment, you'll get full credit. If you don't, you won't. And that's basically it. I'm not necessarily compelled by the department to treat this like another assignment for the class. This is something that you'll get credit for doing basically as a thank you for participating in the assessment. So it'll only affect your grade negatively if you just don't do it. Beyond that, just basically do the best you can. Treat this like a normal assignment. Follow the instructions. Talk about your writing process. Remember all the different kind of steps and layers to building a good essay and speaking about what it takes. Just make sure to try to be thorough and just do your best. I mean, for full disclosure, the way that we kind of use these assessments is we will select a handful from each class at random, and we'll take the names off so no one will know that we're reading your essay in particular. And we just sort of read as a department, we read all the assessments together, and we say to ourselves, based on this, is English 1010 doing what it's supposed to do? Are students who take this class leaving the class with the skills that they are supposed to acquire from this English 1010 class? And we'll take the data, we'll look at where we are doing well, and we'll look at where we need to do better, and we'll make adjustments to the course throughout the rest of the semester, or for next semester for the future. But again, this is not necessarily an assessment of you as a student. This is an assessment of English 1010 as a course. And so obviously we want you to do as well as you can on it. But this is also not the kind of thing that I'm going to go through and parse and nitpick and leave comments on. So to that end, I would invite everybody just to take a deep breath, get the assignment done as quickly as you can, get it turned in, and then enjoy English 1020, or whatever class it ends up being that you take next semester. On that note, I will say thank you for a good semester. Online teaching is not necessarily new to me, but it's also not really my preferred method of instruction. I find a lot of it very challenging in a lot of ways, and a lot of that challenge comes from just the fact that I don't really know you. I don't really meet most of you. There's a handful that I've gotten to see your faces through a Zoom call or randomly on campus, but for the most part, you know, I'm just a name on a screen just as much as you are a name on a screen to me. And so lacking that one-on-one component, that real sort of relationship that we can, you know, develop over a class, a lot of times online teaching feels a bit, I don't know, lackluster, maybe for the best word. And I know that for many of you, it's not that you prefer online teaching. It's not like you prefer being a student online. A lot of you find value in the class. It's just convenience. It's pacing. It's support. It's, you know, there's a whole host of things that go into your decision to take an online class. And so having appreciated all of those, I'll just say I think that this class did very well. I found this to be a very successful semester for this course in particular. And I can only say that I wish everybody the best of luck in the future. Pat yourself on the back, regardless of how you did, regardless of what your final grade ends up being. Congratulate yourself for just making it this far, because all too often, plenty of students don't. And, you know, not many people in this class have not made it to the finish line, which I feel like can be a kind of rare thing. And so it's because of that I feel like the semester is, you know, nothing short of successful for everybody. So I hope everybody enjoys a great break, and wherever it is that you end up and whatever classes you're taking in the spring, I wish everybody the best of luck. If there's anything I can do for you in the future, please let me know. Otherwise, don't forget Essay 4, essay revisions, final exit assessment. If you haven't already completed the student perception of survey or perception of instruction survey, feel free to take a moment and do that. That always helps me out. I do try to take the comments and the suggestions and the feedback seriously. I do try to always get better the next time around. I always get to the end of the semester feeling that there's a lot that could have gone better. But also I get to this point and acknowledge that it went pretty well, I think. So I hope you feel the same. I hope you got a lot out of this. Congrats on finishing up a fall semester. Good luck in the spring. Best of luck to you in the future. And hopefully, maybe I'll get to see a face or put a face to a name on down the line. That'll make me more than happy. Stay in touch. Happy New Year.